Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So I thought what I do is I do a short series on different power tools as the next step after the basic tool introduction video. And the first power tool we had was the drill. Okay, so that is the most basic power tool, the first power tool that you want to buy for your home. So what I have here is my old drill, and what I would recommend is that you get a corded drill and not the battery variety that's being sold a lot nowadays. And the reason being that the corded drill gives you a lot more power, so it makes your drill, if you're buying one drill, your first drill, a lot more versatile. Okay, because the ones with the batteries, you have to get, firstly they're very expensive, they're a lot more expensive, and you have to get quite a powerful one to allow you to drill into a wall or do a variety of jobs that the corded drill or the electric drill can do. So when you're going to the shop, you're going to look out for a couple of basic things. Now this part of the drill is called the chuck. Now the chuck will come in either 10 millimeter or 13 millimeter. I haven't really seen a lot of others, and what that basically means is that how wide this opens will be either 13 millimeter or 10 millimeter. So go for the 13 millimeter chuck if you can get it, because then it just makes your drill more versatile. So the chuck, 13 millimeter. Then you want to look out for it having a hammer action. Now you see it's got a picture of a hammer there. The hammer action will allow your drill to be able to drill into the wall. Now remember, when you're drilling into a wall, it's more like you're chiseling actually. So as I said in the previous video, the drill bit is actually knocking and scooping at the same time. That's how you getting into the wall. It's not a cutting action. Okay, so you'll get one with a hammer action. Then some drills, this is not absolutely necessary, but a lot of the newer ones, you see an arrow on it and a switch. We just call it reversible drill. This allows it to go forward or backward. That is really used if sometimes you drill into a wall and your drill gets stuck, or drilling something, then putting it to reverse mode will allow you to extract the bit out of the wall. And also if you want to use your drill for a screwdriver, which they have an adapter for, then it will allow you to do that. The reverse action will then undo screws and forward go, throw the screw in. Then the last thing is the trigger and speed control. So a drill with speed control will allow you to then do a lot more different things with your drill. For example, if you were using a drill as a screwdriver, once again, then you could, this particular drill of mine has the speed control in the trigger, so you turn it to the top again, you can speed it up, right? And then some applications of different uses of the drill. For example, you drill slower into steel than you do when you're drilling into wood. When you're drilling into steel, you put a lot of pressure, obviously going forward, a lot of pressure downwards onto your steel, but slower speed. You don't want it to heat up. Whereas into wood, you go faster. So the speed control, the reversibility that you look out for. Then you've got the hammer action and the chuck size. Then the other feature, you see this little knob on the side here. This is a lock button, so when you pull your trigger in, you push it in, press that button, and it will allow the drill to stay on. So if you're using a drill for a sander or for doing polishing or grinding work, you get this wheel that's this is a steel brush wheel which you can clean metal with. So you'd put that in the front, and then you'd need your drill to be running and not every time pull the trigger, and that will help with that. So those are the four basic features which you're looking out for the drill. And then obviously, like I mentioned to you, you get this adapter, which you can then put into the front there, and you can change it's a magnetic adapter. You can change the bit. This one's a bit stuck in there. And you can change it from a star bit to a Phillips to a flat quite easily if you're doing some screw driving. And then this is a typical steel or wood bit, and you see these flutes around the bit itself. This functions really just to, like a mole when it digs a hole, it has to discard what it's digging out somewhere. So if I were to drill into a piece of wood, for example, that was thicker than that, then the drill would get stuck, and it will be difficult at some point, because the wood that I'm cutting with the front edge will go all the way up this flute, and I want to get out the back, but it won't be able to. So that's very important, the flute. And then this is a typical concrete bit. Will have a little wing at the front, as you can see there, like a point of a spear. That's how you notice a concrete bit different to a steel bit. And like I said, that essentially, when you're drilling, it knocks the concrete. That's what the hammer action does inside the drill. It just kind of beats at the back there, so you're chiseling, knocking and turning at the same time, and then it also extracts the dust or the waste out the back there. The other kind of bit you get is it's called a spade bit. Some people call it a speed bit. You don't need the flute on this one, obviously, because it's drilling that big a hole, and all the particles can just go outside, go out right next to it. They use these bits because obviously you can see this is a 28 millimeter. The chuck size would only be 30 millimeter, but it's reduced, so now this will fit quite easily into the drill's chuck, so you can drill a bigger hole. That's why they designed these bits. And obviously it's also got the ability to have a magnetic bit holder. This is a standard attachment, so it fits nicely into there if you want to just do a quick bit change. And yeah, all the drills should come with a chuck key, right? That just goes into that hole, and you turn it to release your bit. That's how it is. I normally, my hands are quite tough nowadays. It's quicker for me just to hold this part. So essentially, to get the bit out, you need to hold that part, turn that part. So I would do that so that, so I can, it's quicker for me to just change the bit that way. And that's about it. Basics of the drill. So bear that in mind, that when you're going to get your first drill, rather get a decent drill that can do everything, as opposed to getting a drill that's, has a smaller chuck or doesn't have the hammer function. Just makes this one tool a lot more versatile than having to get another drill for drilling to the walls or whatever. Alright, thank you very much. We'll chat soon. I think the next one I'll do, it will be the jigsaw. Ciao for now.